Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Digitally Uploaded podcast, the companion podcast to digitally-downloaded.net. We are here today, which is why you're hearing me, which is pretty good, right? Yes, we are. Yes,
Matt. I want to say that was an A-tier intro.
This is not you imagining us talking. You're actually listening to us, so that's pretty good. And we
are the Death Stranding.
We are. I've been sent a little bit loopy by Kojima's ego game. But yeah, it's good. Yay, embargo's up. We can actually talk about it now on the podcast and not worry about getting wrapped on the knuckles by Sony. So I can throw all kinds of nods to this game thing. It's not really a game, it's a thing. It's a majestic nuts thing with an awful lot of... It's a
useless piece of garbage, of absolute garbage.
It's a masterpiece of absolute garbage.
I love that.
That sounds amazing.
And it's got a lot of Norman Reedus' butt, so, that's a good thing too.
I've heard that you can pee a lot, and I respect that.
You can pee a lot, yep, you can...
Also, it's like imperative to your weapons or something, if I remember.
Yeah, when you pee, you create, like, bombs which kill the ghost things.
Sick. It's like South Park the game.
Is this game actually real? What?
It's real. It's great. With us this week, we have Alan. Hello, Alan.
Hi, Harvard.
And we also have
we'll talk about the pea grenades in a second.
I was segueing very cleverly there. Harvard. Hello, Harvard.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just we're going to go to some music from Hatsune Miku, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Blizzard to start with. Good old Blizzard. For the Miku song, I'm going to pick something from one of the Vocaloids, MEIKO, who has had her 15th anniversary of creating wonderful musics this week. 15 years.
Quotation marks of wonderful.
Well, it's actually older than Alan, so,
Yeah, I am 12.
So that's pretty cool to be, performing for that long. And we'll come back and talk about it. And welcome back. So,
Oh, no, Matt, I have an idea. I have an idea for an intro.
Have you?
Oh, it's getting cold in here.
Well, that is our intro. We're actually going to
cold
use
in
that.
here. It's getting
Blizzard.
real cold.
Blizzard.
Better rub your shoulders.
Alan's moving to England soon, so he's getting
losing my mind.
Yeah, Blizzard did a thing, and because Blizzard did a thing,
it wasn't China.
Yeah, everyone's forgiven Blizzard from China, and they're for China, and they're signing their accounts back up again now. So, good on Blizzard for proving that capitalism works, and whatever controversies you get into, you can just ride the storm. All you need to do is announce Diablo 4, and that's what they've done. Diablo 4 is Diablo, but because it's Diablo, it's apparently the greatest thing ever, right, Alan?
Yeah. Well, because we all needed another live service MMO game. We all needed it. Diablo 4 is a semi-online game, but it's it's Destiny, but it's Diablo, which I think is really, really interesting how we've seen this evolution over the last 10 years, where we've gone from it's shooters taking cues from Diablo with Borderlands 1, and then going into Destiny 1, which was it's online now, hooray, into Destiny 2. It's online now, but it's good.
And don't forget Anthem.
I actually forgot that game.
We all forgot that game. No one remembers that game, Matt.
Is it still alive? Is Anthem still a thing?
Yeah, for the 2 people that still play it.
Oh, that's really sad. So we've got the Barbarian, the Sorceress, and the Druid, which is very Diablo 2, which I'm excited about because Diablo 2 was the best one by far. So basically, it will be online, which is exciting, I guess, if you want to be online. And it's darker and more gritty, apparently, so it's going to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but with Diablo, which is exciting.
Alan, you sound like someone's holding you against your will as you say that.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I'm so exhausted by these online-only games that there's no point anymore. There's just no point with this.
You say that, but you're definitely going to play it.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not going to buy anything Blizzard-based. If I do buy something Blizzard-based...
Are you sticking to your guns there, Alan?
Yeah, I don't care enough.
Bad China, bad Blizzard.
You know what? I will play Diablo 2 if that comes out, because it came out before this nonsense. That's my justification.
Hey, Alan, speaking of sticking to your guns, and stop me if I'm being memed right now, but is there an Overwatch 2?
There is an Overwatch.
That was the other announcement, which is
will you be sticking to your guns, Alan, in Overwatch 2?
Oh, I've never had to even worry. The guns are stuck to my hand with glue. Oh, my God. No, that game looks like ass. They released a trailer with one new character, and it's Flying Lady from Steven Universe. It's what is the Steven Universe lady's name? I don't know. But there's a lady who's very sleek and metally looking, and she flies.
And she's now a part of the Overwatch.
But that's just going to be more Overwatch, right?
It's just Overwatch.
Why not just release her into Overwatch?
No, but Matt, I don't think you understand. China happened this year. They need if this was a regular thing, they would just release it in Overwatch 1, but no.
No, they actually needed a sequel to convince everybody they're good again.
Just Capcom sitting there
very woke.
Nervously.
Yeah. Good old Overwatch.
Yeah, that game sucks. Anyway. Those of you who have not been paying attention to my slow descent into hatred of Overwatch, I ended up deleting Overwatch because I was just just over its nonsense. And that game's built around having ultimates, and whoever has more ultimates is the winner, and it's really frustrating. So I've gone back to TF2, which means
everyone I've talked to about Overwatch has basically played it a lot, and then every additional game has been like, I hate it, and just they kept playing it. And then eventually they went back to TF2. So I feel like you're following a pattern here, Alan.
Yeah, because TF2 is just better. There's more stuff you can do in it. I don't have to deal with the fact that you can just revive people on the spot. I don't have to deal with idiot stuff.
I like Overwatch in the sense that I like the character mashups and
you
stuff.
like Diva?
Yeah, Diva pretty much. And also Mercy. But yeah,
Mercy primarily.
Mercy and Diva is a pretty good ship, but
God,
yeah,
nice.
I can't play anymore because I'm one of those few people that was genuinely pissed off about Blizzard because of the China thing, and
The Blitz
I
from
I actually just can't do it. And I'm kind of going to stick to my guns. I don't think an Overwatch 2 is going to make me forget about my ethical, moral cause. But yeah, I don't know. I liked Overwatch, but I don't see the point in an Overwatch 2 until
no, it's $60 though, Matt.
yeah. I mean, I
That's
can
the
see.
point of Overwatch 2. It's nothing else. It's just that they're upset that they've had to spend all their time working on loot boxes when they're slowly becoming criminalized. So they have to find a new way of making money,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
means annual releases or a battle pass sort of situation. I guarantee. Activision Blizzard's involved, it'll be battle pass.
for sure, for sure. And yeah, that's probably why they're doing it. But just in terms of gameplays, I can't see there being any way that they'll do anything different. I mean, if they were to do an Overwatch 2 which had a proper story mode in
I
there,
think that's the
would be
plan.
great.
I
That
think
would
that's
be
what they're doing now.
wonderful. I'd be all for that, and I would be almost tempted to check it out if I wasn't boycotting Blizzard. But yeah, just in terms of multiplayer shooties, I don't see how they can do anything with it that they
Well,
haven't already done.
There are so many other shooters on the market now that are just better. I'm
Like
fairly
Call of Duty. Let's talk about Call of Duty.
No,
Alan.
I was talking about
I have
TF2.
I have things to say about Call of Duty, Alan. It's Activision, so it's kind of related.
Yeah, because the boycott didn't affect anyone from Activision.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually,
Call of Duty,
yeah. What was up
Call of
with
Duty
that?
Modern Warfare has sold $600 million worth
Oh
in the
no.
first 3 days.
I think it's
Oh,
great.
no.
It's the same company, but
Literally the exact same people.
people boycotting Blizzard over the thing who's like, oh yeah, but Activision's okay. It's like you people
No,
are
no,
just
but
so
no,
stupid.
Matt, it's fine. You don't understand. I don't think you get it. It's not Blizzard, it's Activision Blizzard.
Mind you, being pro-China is the least of Call of Duty's problems because that game is a trash fire. It is a rancid trash fire of
I
a
want
game.
to play it
It's
for the
horrible.
multiplayer really badly.
It's like, well, you want to drop white phosphorus on people.
I mean, if that happens, yes. I'm not going to
That's
feel good about it. I just
I
want
mean,
to play the game
putting
right.
putting the war crimes into the multiplayer is a pretty
Yeah, that's a
ballsy
pretty
thing
full-on
to-
thing to do.
But that's always been the thing, though.
No, it wasn't
Like-
always. It was a Hellstorm missile or whatever in the old games. It was never white phosphorus.
I know, but like in COD 4, you could just nuke the place. In COD 5, you could like do real bad things. I can't remember exactly specifically what, but
Oh,
you know,
it was like way
war
bloody.
crimes were always a component of COD multiplayer.
But now you can now it's just brought down to who shoots the children first. And, like, that worries me. That's worrying that that's the slippery slope that we're going down with video games.
I
And
mean,
we have Kojima.
I haven't even bothered with the multiplayer in this Call of Duty thing because I played.
Send it through to me, Matt.
I played halfway through the campaign. I was like, "Yep, not going to be actually able to finish this because it is that bad." It plays fine, you know, but
That's the thing is I want to play it because I've played the beta and I had a good time with it.
it's just so offensive. Like it offends me to the very core. This Call of Duty
That's
game.
good.
It's like
I like that.
let's blame the Russians for every American war crime game. That's basically what it is.
I love that PlayStation decided not to sell it on the PS Store in Russia.
Well, with good reason because
The extremely justified reason.
Yeah, the game is literally propaganda, and that's like it is not even subtle about it. Some of the
When
previous
has it not been?
Yeah, or some of the previous Call of Duties have been, fairly subtle about it. Like, for instance, they've had sci-fi settings, so they can claim that it's fantasy and all that kind of stuff. And they still promote the message. They just do it in a more subtle way. This game is not subtle on any level. It is just rancid propaganda made explicit, and they got away with it with stuff like World War II one because people don't remember World War II, unfortunately. People don't really know what went on there anymore, and the history books have not been very balanced with how they present the Americans in World War II. So people who think that Americans were heroes through World War II have reason, I guess, to believe that and don't have any reason to question Call of Duty. But this one, because it's like current war crimes that America was involved with, I think people are finally realizing that the shit that Call of Duty's been getting up to. It'll be interesting to see if Activision is forced to dial back that rhetoric a bit for the next Call of Duty or not. It would be good if they were, because that stuff is just that's even less cool than Blizzard with the China thing. But
I do love that Death Stranding is basically just like this. Death Stranding is a.
Oh, we lost that a little bit there. Sorry, Alan, we lost you a little bit there.
I was just going to say that Death Stranding is basically about these people.
Well, Death Stranding is great, and I can't spoil it because there's still spoilers around the narrative. But in very broad terms and without giving spoilers, if you actually play Death Stranding right through to the end, and that's why we at the media had to spend 50 hours playing the game to get to the very end by our embargo conditions. But yeah, if you played Death Stranding all the way through to the end, it becomes pretty clear that it's a fairly robust criticism of America, as in the grand idea that everybody believes what America is what it stands for, and its identity as a country. The game's pretty good at doing that, critiquing that, which was fascinating and very me. Kojima's a mad genius. He is.
Oh no, he got you. He's got you.
He finally got you after like 27 years. He's finally got you.
He managed to convert me. As everybody knows, I'm not the world's biggest fan of Kojima, or wasn't, I guess. I guess I am now.
Oh, we look back like a year ago in the podcast, and Matt's like, "Oh, Death Stranding's gonna suck ass." I don't know why Matt talks with a slightly Boston accent, but that's how I interpret you apparently.
He's the scout from TF2 now.
The hilarious thing was when I was playing.
Everyone in my lens is just from TF2 now.
Half the time playing through the bloody game, I was like, "This game is absolutely terrible."
See, that's what I've heard as well from everyone who's played it. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Even now, when I kind of think back on it, I just the game is both terrible and brilliant, and I love it for that. That's kind of.
Because I read your review, I read Mark Serrell's review, and I read Matt Codd's review, and all three of them I came away with, I don't know if I'll like this game. So it didn't help me at all.
I think it's one of those things. It's like if I was to say, "Oh, you need to see the Mona Lisa, it's a great painting," you're not really going to know if you like the Mona Lisa or not till you actually see it yourself.
Yeah,
so I think Death Stranding is that really, really rare game that is genuine art. Like, it is a genuinely art game. And
I've heard that all the bits that really annoy people, like the walking around stuff, is very comparable to Red Dead 2, and I loved the walking around in Red Dead 2.
I think it just depends on whether you're willing to kind of tolerate that stuff for the great point that the game is making. And I was, like, in the end, it annoyed me at times. It definitely annoyed me at times. But yeah, I don't know.
We go back to the Slack records, I want to say, a week and a half ago, and Matt's screaming about how much he hates this game.
Pretty much. But then Matt Codd, was like...
Matt's talking about himself.
He was like, you really need to keep playing this, Matt. You need to finish this game. And I did, and yeah, he was right. So yeah, definitely Death Stranding is the kind of game that you need to play for yourself to experience, because it's art, and how you respond to art is kind of personal. So yeah, we'll go to
Overwatch too.
So
we'll go to
podcast gonna have sections or.
No, we're just having a free fall chat here. It is a free fall. It's not a free flowing. It's a free fall. We're driving here.
Controlled disaster. It's fine.
Yeah, that's it. We're going to go to some music. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about, I don't know yet, but music. We'll pick something from not Overwatch, not
from Death Stranding, because there won't be any music available.
Yeah, I know. And if you did that, you'd probably get copyright.
You know what? Death Stranding is close enough to Deadly Premonition, so I'm going to go Deadly Premonition again.
Deadly Premonition it is.
Deathly Strandnition.
Welcome back, everybody. So, we don't know what we're going to talk about, so we're just going to talk about stuff that we've been playing this week. It's a very free-flowing podcast this week because there really isn't that much happening. Everybody was so busy focused on Death's Norman bump, that we just didn't have time to think about anything else or do anything else. All the journalists have been like, well, fuck, we've got to play this game for like 60 hours, and they've just been sitting there playing it.
And then also end the internet.
Yeah, and then one of them gave the game a 3.5 out of 10 review, and I think their website's still down.
Their website's still down now. That's pretty funny.
That's pretty cruel because, yeah, people are allowed to have different opinion, guys. Yeah, games that we've been playing when we haven't been playing Norman's Bum. I've been playing Baldur's Gate.
Because Matt's gone back to 1991.
I have, and it was a good time. It was a
5 years before I was born.
Is that actually when it came out?
BioWare was not...
no, it was like 1997.
1998.
Okay,
and
I'm still older.
This was before BioWare was bought by EA and before BioWare was forced to make Anthem and stuff. This was when BioWare was good. And, yeah, it's been released on PlayStation, Switch, Xbox for the first time. It's console for the first time. And I wasn't sure how the point-and-click kind of interface of Baldur's Gate would translate across to console, but the developers have done a really good job. It is Baldur's Gate.
Is it just a virtual mouse?
No. It's been completely remapped to controller, and it works really well. I was very impressed by it, and I've been enjoying the game ever since. I'm a big fan of Baldur's Gate. I think I've played it like 8 or 9 times through since the original. At least 8 or 9 times, maybe even more. Because every time you play, you can do different things. There's just so many different characters. You can recruit your party, and you can play an evil character or a good character, and that completely changes how the story works. And it's just a fascinating game for its time. And even today, it's still more open. I'd say it's more open than the likes of Dragon Age and Outer Worlds and stuff like that. Simply because you can actually change the entire plot just by picking different characters to be on your party. That would have been really difficult back then, but especially these days because
you look at the amount of money it would cost to do that in a game like The Outer Worlds, where you have to have 3D modeling, voice acting, everything like that.
Yeah,
compared to 2D sprites, which are fairly easy to It's still quite difficult. I'm not going to sit here and have a go.
You've made them angry, Alan. They're coming for you.
Look, I'll send them on to Blizzard. It's fine.
I think it's also just a change in how developers think about making their games, because back with Baldur's Gate, BioWare obviously thought that it was okay if a person played through a game and didn't see 90% of what's in it. But these days, again, because it costs so much to make this stuff, developers want you to see as much as possible within the context of a single playthrough. So,
I think I talked about this a while ago, but the only game I've ever seen to do that in like a modern context was The Witcher 2. And that was dope. That was really cool. There's like a choice you make in the first chapter will basically mean you'll get one of 2 chapter 2s, which is really neat.
Well, I mean, Dragon Age Origins, the first Dragon Age, had different starting areas depending on your race, and I believe
still haven't actually played that game.
There was like six different starts, and it was based on which character you chose to start with, and it was the tutorial, but it was about an hour-long kind of story section at the start that would be different depending on who you were. So, but that was only...
Before we continue this any further, has anyone ever picked playing as human in those games?
Yeah, I usually do.
Yeah,
has anyone been that boring?
Yeah, me. All the time.
Oh, wow. Yes.
I always do. But only because I like the idea of putting myself in the game, and I don't see myself as having pointy ears and being an elf. So... I name myself and put myself into the games, and I'm a human, so I put human in there. I'm not very imaginative that way, but I always like to have really weird characters join me if I play as a male. Otherwise, often I play as a female character instead, but then it's also human. I don't know, humans.
What I'm basically trying to say is that you're boring.
I am very boring.
Fun things.
Ain't very boring. But just quickly, in addition to Baldur's Gate, if you buy the pack, you get the game on console. You also get Baldur's Gate 2, which is good.
Which
it's
is
all
the
in
better
one
one,
pack.
isn't it?
And, well, I mean, it depends on who you are.
Yeah, check up.
But in addition to that, you also get this like bonus kind of. It's not a full game, but it's like a 10-hour standalone thing that was released relatively recently by the developer behind the ports, which kind of links the stories of Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 together. And
so it's Final Fantasy 4 the after years.
It was yeah like that, but yeah, it's something that I think a lot of people haven't played because it is quite new. I think it was only released 2 or 3 years ago, so that's a pretty good deal for the pack. And then on top of that, if you've got unlimited time, which I don't, but I bought them anyway, there's also another pack which has Icewind Dale and Planescape Torment in it.
Dude,
and
Planescape Torment's rad. That game rocks.
Planescape Torment that is a real masterpiece of a game. That one. It's like an RPG, but not very combat based. It's much more interaction based, and that's pretty cool. And it takes place in
a visual novel.
yeah, that's it. It's close to a visual novel, and it takes place in like this fantasy kind of.
It's just the D&D world,
and then you can go into like hell and stuff, and it's really good. It's really good.
You can go to BlizzCon.
Yeah, you can go to.
No, that's Icewind Dale.
It's better than Diablo. Anyway, you
Oh, I missed out the joke. No. Oh, it's heartbreaking.
But yeah, you should play all of these because don't forget there is actually Baldur's Gate 3 in the works.
Yeah, or you could just play the Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds is really good.
That's not Baldur's Gate, is it?
It's Baldur's Worlds.
It's not Baldur's Gate.
That actually kind of works.
It's got guns. There's no guns in fantasy, Alan.
Yeah, but there's swords. And there's swords in Outer Worlds.
Well, the swords don't shoot bullets, do they? Unless they're Final Fantasy 8.
Yeah, unless you have a gun sword. I can't believe that was a real thing. I can't. At what point was someone sitting down in Squeenix headquarters being like, you know what we need to do?
Gunblades. It's so cool.
They're looking at a picture of a gun, looking at a picture of a sword, and they're like, what if Barrett could cut people? That's pretty cool. And they just slowly did the thing where they merged 2 photos together. Ugh, what a game. Anyway, Outer Worlds is really good. I finished it 3 years ago.
That was fast. What?
It's not a long game. It's quite short, actually.
How many hours?
It's not actually short. Alan's just played it for a lot.
It's like 15 hours.
It's longer than that.
The main quest is about 15 hours if you blast through it. Side quest stuff takes up to about 30, I'd say. But it's really good. That game rocks.
That's a good amount for an RPG. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's a reasonable amount so that you don't get bogged down. It's the same sort of length as New Vegas, really, when you think about it.
It just sucks that you got Felix. He's a dick.
Felix is good. I like Felix.
Felix
I will say, though, I pretty much just use Nyoka and Pavati because I like Nyoka a lot because she's always drunk, and I like Pavati because she's just wholesome. And that's pretty much it.
Pavati's pretty cool.
Pavati works. I would recommend doing her full quest chain.
I think I've missed a character somewhere.
Ellie? Did you miss Ellie?
No, I got Ellie. Ellie's the medic, right?
Do you have Robot Man?
I don't have Robot Man yet.
Okay, go to your ship.
I know I know where Robot Man is, but there's also companion quests in the journal, and I think in not doing the priests one, I've missed out on a character. Is that right? Does he join you? Well, what the hell's he on the companion quest for? Because his quests are listed under companion.
Did you not do his first quest where you go and?
Yeah, he was like find the book.
Okay, go find the book. You get him. Yeah.
Oh, he actually joins you, does he?
Yeah, he's also useless in my opinion. That's all right. I put him in my party once, and I was like, "Well, I hate you."
Well, he's got to be better than Felix.
No, Felix is good. He just wants
really
to blow stuff up. I like Felix.
I
respect that.
He's my least favorite character. He is.
He's very good. So the game does the same thing at the end that New Vegas did, where it just shows you what happened to all the communities that you were involved with. And I really like that because I think I got a pretty good ending, except for one area, which I feel like I did the wrong thing, maybe because I was too hasty and too much of an anti-corporate boy. Yeah.
Oh, did you kill all the people in the?
No, I destroyed that first town and it slapped.
Oh, Alan, you're such a bad person. I actually saved Bowler Hat because the old woman was annoying me. So
in my defense, my My entire reasoning for that was that I wanted Bowler Hat's hat. And I think that's fairly justified. No, so if you go into your ship quarters as well, Matt, you'll find there's a whole bunch of trophies about things that'll tell you what happened after.
Right.
And I would recommend doing that because there's some really interesting information, and I'm pretty sure that you've also made a bad decision.
What? In
that first town. Yeah. I think you made a bad decision.
There's no right decision then.
There is one extra decision, but it's also not good, and I love that. There's 3 decisions that all are terrible, and I can't get around that enough. There's also one quest chain that takes way too long to do in the middle of the game on, I think, one of the 3rd or 4th planets. And I spent ages trying to bring these 2 communities together, and it worked finally. And at the end, like, looking at the impact of that is so good. This game is, like, Outer Worlds is the single best RPG released in a very long time. Having said that, I haven't played Dragon Quest XI, so, you know, we'll see how that goes.
Very different games.
Incredibly different games. I can't wait to just shoot.
No, the thing that gets me about people talking about Outer Worlds, they keep talking about it like it's Fallout. They compare it to Fallout. But
it is Fallout.
For me, it is much more like Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, because you have the same setup as Mass Effect 2. It's almost the exact same in terms of structure.
Well, that's the thing. It plays very much like Mass Effect to me.
Oh, okay. Did you play New Vegas?
Yeah.
You did? Did you like it?
Can't remember, actually. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I haven't.
You really should play New Vegas. It's like $5. If you haven't played New Vegas, everyone, that game is one of my favorite games of all time. It's incredibly good. Would highly recommend it. It's one of the few games where you can tell who is on your side based on the way that they say the word Caesar. And that's awesome. It's so cool. It's a good game. Have you played it, Harvard?
I think I might have played like 5 minutes.
Okay, play more of it. It's genuinely, like, it's worth it. It's Obsidian in their prime.
Will it break my computer in the same way that Fallout 3 did?
It's less broken now, but I'm not going to promise anything because, again, it's that game. It's, like, part of the deal.
Yeah, Fallout 3, when I tried to leave the vault and go out to the main world after the end of the tutorial, the game just destroyed my computer. Like, it stopped and it wouldn't let any processes go. And after restarting, it was just a mess.
It was actually doing you a favor, Harvard.
Yeah, Fallout 3 is bad. Play New Vegas instead.
Okay, we'll see how that goes then.
The whole apocalyptic thing is just it's not me. It's not my idea of fun. So that's why I've avoided Fallout kind of over the years.
It's New Vegas, Matt. It's not as dead as you think it is. It's really good. This is my whisper voices. Apparently, that makes it more genuine.
I'll add it to the long backlog.
To the list that will never be finished. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, exactly. So Harvard, what are you playing?
Well, I've been the job of life.
Yeah, I've been really busy lately because got all these jobs going on. If I have time, I've been playing just a lot of card games. I've been playing like Magic, and I'm playing Eternal Card Game, and yeah, it's not that fun. I don't really recommend it.
Are you playing Hearthstone?
No, that's a terrible game.
You're going to only play Hearthstone for the next 24 years?
Legit, like before all this stuff happened, I tried Hearthstone, and having played Magic, I was like, Hearthstone is a terrible game, and I never went back to it.
Yeah, I tried Hearthstone and got mad that someone just had cards that I didn't have because I couldn't afford buying 17 bags, and was like, okay, well...
Yeah, like, that's the experience of Hearthstone.
Maybe,
first you start...
Maybe you should never play Magic the Gathering, Alan.
No, Magic the Gathering is fun if you just start out. But Hearthstone is like, the other guy has better cards than you. And then when you finally grind up to the cards that they have, they win by some BS RNG dice roll. And then
a new thing's released.
That too, yeah.
Then we can't even do the old cards anymore because they suck.
It's just a game of spending money to Blizzard is faster than someone else can.
It's jingling keys in front of someone in hope that they forget about China.
I just realized I can say what I'm going to play next week. Or, well, this week, I guess. It's Sunday. On Tuesday, to do the Let's Play, I'm going to play Natural Doctrine.
That's
a great game. I love Natural.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think it's on PS4 too, isn't it?
Ooh, there we go.
Hopefully it is, because if it's not, I can't record it. But, yeah, it's like a tactics-ish RPG. Where
that's the really hard one, right?
Yeah, the battle system is nothing like anything else you've ever played. And if you learn how the system works, it's actually not that hard. but learning the system is the hard part.
Okay,
You have
so
to
it sounds
get
like a
used
game
to.
that is for absolute like turbo nerds.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Turbo
good.
nerds. Turbo nerds unite. Turbo nerds rise up.
Oh my god.
It is a great game. It was released on PSP Vita as well.
Yeah. I want to say, I just looked it up on Wikipedia, and the first thing that came to my attention was the game's ending theme song is "In the Court of the Crimson King" by Kim Crimson, and that's the most bizarre choice for anything that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
like
that.
it's a super Japanese game too. I have no idea why that's the case.
I like that.
It's actually the first game that Kadokawa Games developed themselves, which people don't realize, I think, because it was released really early on in the PS4's life cycle. It was one of the first Japanese things on the PS4, and I think it was also released on PS3 actually. And
Yeah, it is. You got
yeah,
a 2.8 from IGN.
yeah,
Nice.
it's a very
So it's better
polarizing.
than Death Stranding.
It's a very polarizing game in the sense that if you don't get the combat system, you're in for a world of pain, and it's a little bit. I mean, it's not very well voice acted or presented, really. It's
Oh yeah,
quite.
voice acting is awful. It's physically painful to listen to.
That
Yeah, it's
means
very
I would
B
play this
grade,
game.
but yeah, if you get into the combat system, it has a really good combat system. And the multiplayer was, I mean, you won't be able to play it anymore. I don't think anybody's playing it, but the multiplayer system was really good because you'd get like cards, and those cards would summon all kinds of different monsters, and it was like it was almost like a card game mixed with the tactics thing, and it was really neat. I really enjoyed it while it lasted, which
We
wasn't
can't play
very long,
Blizzard games
unfortunately.
anymore than that. We can't play Blizzard games anymore. It's a card game. We can't play Blizzard games. It's banned.
Blizzard does not have the
Monopoly on
Blizzard
card
own-
games.
monopoly
They
on
own the
card
card
game.
game. They own card game.
I think you'll find Magic the Gathering came first, and that's a different kind of evil. And
No, Matt, you don't understand. Blizzard owns it. You don't understand the impact of what was said. It could hurt people physically, emotionally, spiritually, monetarily. You know, it's the one joke for today from me.
It honestly
on that
feels like
note-
someone's behind a
we're going to go to some music.
It's my one joke.
t-shirt.
We're going to pick music from. Well, Baldur's Gate doesn't have any music.
It does.
We've done it before.
It does have a little bit of music, but it's not very engaging outside of the context of the video game.
Oh my gosh.
I want to choose music from. What the hell? Final Fantasy VIII. We did mention Gunblades.
No.
Yep,
we
we're
always
doing
do
that.
Man with a Machine Gun.
Yep, we are.
Can we do maybe I'm a Lion?
No, Man with a Machine Gun. That's it. I put my foot down.
Damn it.
We do Man of the Band.
And welcome back. Okay, so for the last section of the podcast, we are going to talk about joysticks. Well, actually, the Golden Joystick Awards to be exact. And more generally, I guess, awards, because it is that time of year and the big game awards has been opened for people to vote in. And
there are awards now.
They've listed out all the great games that you can vote for and stuff. So,
Matt, best relationship with China award.
Yeah, best relationship with China award. Well, Activision and Blizzard are in there, so you know.
Again, this is the one joke for today.
Vote for them if you like China. But yeah, just running through the ultimate game of the year category is the one I guess we'll talk about the most. Running through the 12 games on the shortlist, you've got Apex Legends.
That game is really good. I don't know why everyone stopped playing it.
Move on.
Okay.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which is just hilarious. Why the hell that game is in there?
They must have just paid a lot of money.
I reckon Activision Blizzard is a sponsor somehow. And yeah, that's why
I think Mr. Jeffrey is just sitting there.
As long as they don't win.
A small check appeared in front of him and he was like, wow, who's this from? And it just said China.
If Call of
just from the country.
Yeah.
If that propaganda,
this one joke is like endless.
If that propaganda game, if that modern Uncle Sam game gets the Game of the Year award, then it'll be funny. I'd have things to say about that, but it would be funny. Control is on the list, and
that's a good game. It's a very good game.
That's a good game, I think. Disco Elysium, which I really want to play. I haven't yet.
That sounds awesome. That sounds really awesome, yeah.
Yeah, that's the top-down RPG in the mold of the Baldur's Gates of yesteryear. So, yeah.
It does seem like a U game, Matt.
It does seem like a U game, a me game. It does seem like a me game. Fire Emblem Three Houses got a nomination, which is cool. That's a good game. That's a masterpiece. That is great tactics, action, great characters, great anime boobs.
Yeah, I echo Alan's one.
It's great. You two just have no taste in video games. That's what it is. Gears 5. There you go, Alan. There's your game. Gears 5.
I haven't played that game.
Shooting monsters in the balls is so much better than anime.
Why are you testing me for this?
You love it. You love it.
I did want to play it. I did actually want to play it quite badly. I'm going to download it as soon as I can. Because it's on Game Pass.
You're becoming your stereotype, Alan. You need to take a stand.
No, I refuse. I'm going to be exactly what the world wants me to be. There's two personalities. There's the ego and then there's the perception.
Then there is both Outer Worlds and the Outer Wilds.
That's the worst. I hate that.
Outer Wilds is really good.
No, I know, but it's also just highly cursed name issues.
Outer Wilds is by Annapurna Interactive, and they're a very good art game publisher. And then Outer Worlds is the one we were just.
I mean, you guys know my opinion about it.
And I just wish that somebody also released like the Otter Wilds or Otter Worlds or something,
the Inner Sanctum.
No, just to throw Otter in there, that would have been good. That just to complete the confusion.
Untitled Otter game.
Untitled Otter game.
I would love that actually. Please make
it. Smacking oysters.
So speaking of Untitled stuff, Untitled Goose Game actually got nominated for the
Heck
game.
Yeah, it did.
I think that's great. I think that is so awesome, and I hope they win because.
I mean, cultural impact-wise, yes.
They should need to make the joke where they announce the real winner, and then the goose just comes and steals the award.
Only because if you actually look at the the comments under any announcement of this list, there's a whole bunch of people. There's a whole bunch of people throwing a tantrum that Devil May Cry 5 didn't get a nomination, but Goose Game did, and I think, well, that's good because Goose Game's better. Devil May Cry. I haven't
played Devil May Cry 5. I need to play that game.
It's alright, but it's just action.
I've heard it's very good.
It's just an action thing. It's not that good. Also, what else was nominated? Resident Evil 2. Yeah, okay.
Reasonable cop. That game's good.
Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's good. It's alright.
I've watched a lot of gameplays of it. Looks like good content.
I enjoyed it, but I was also disappointed by it. I enjoyed it because I like From Software and the whole thing. I do like those games. I like the way that they do action, and Sekiro dials up the speed, which makes it really, really kind of visceral, which is good. But at the same time, I was really disappointed that here we had a Japanese developer in From Software with Japanese material, the whole ninja thing, and they just dropped the ball on the storytelling. And it was a big opportunity, I guess, to make a Japanese story, a big blockbuster, and they just didn't. So I was a bit disappointed by that. But
didn't they work with Activision for this one?
Well, Activision published it, yes.
Oh yeah, you can blame that. You can definitely blame that.
except you really can't. I mean, I don't think Activision was actually that involved. They're quite hands off with that one, I think, because they haven't messed with it. In fact, From Software got away with doing stuff that I think Activision would have pushed back on. Like, there's no multiplayer in Sekiro. There's no kind of any multiplayer elements at all in that game, and I imagine Activision would have wanted some of that, but I think From didn't. So, yeah, I get a sense that it's just purely From Software there. And then one other game was announced, so is on the list, and that's Telling Lies,
that's the weird.
That's the Her Story creator game, yeah.
Yeah, that's Sam, whatever his name is, isn't it?
Sam Fisher.
Sam Barlow? Is it? Name of the...
Samuel Peep.
Anyway, that's another Annapurna Interactive. So they got 2 nominations. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
It's a very artistic set of this year.
I will say it's all very Oscar baity this year. If you get what I mean.
No. Goose Game.
Yeah, Goose Game is like the one that I would think is not Oscar baity.
But Outer Wilds 2 is not really Oscar baity. And, even the blockbusters are a bit better than they usually are. There's no, like, Battlefield 5 on that, except for, you know what I mean.
No, there is,
but it's not like not like every other Game Awards where it's 4 blockbuster shooters that are exactly the same as Battlefield 5, and then 1 art game that everyone knows is not going to win.
Well, that's only because there hasn't been 4 blockbuster shooters that have been released in the year,
and that's good. I like
this
that.
year.
Basically the two that were released, they're on that list. So Apex Legends and Call of Duty. So
Apex Legends is really good though.
It might be really good, but it is a blockbuster shooter.
It's Titanfall.
That's literally what it is.
It's Titanfall.
Which is not good.
What do you mean? Titanfall's good.
Titanfall is good.
Did you play Titanfall 2?
Yes, I did. It's not for me.
Don't you like giant robots, Matt?
No, not in that context.
I hate fun.
I like fun. I just, my idea of fun is not dumb shooters.
No, Matt, how dare you? Matt, I'm going to DDoS the internet.
He's going to call the gamers on you.
Well, I didn't give it 3.5 out of 10. If I did, maybe I would have got DDoSed. But yeah, I don't know. These awards, the golden
absolute travesty of a game.
The golden joysticks are a bunch of nonsense, really. But it is the big game awards. It is the Academy Awards of video games, and people treat it quite seriously. Really, it's just an excuse for a bunch of publishers get up on stage and announce next stuff and create hype. It's just a hype thing. But
you know what else bothers me actually is that
at least Goose Game's on there.
There's no consistent definitive game awards. Like, this is close, but it's not the one thing, which allows publishers to just name their game Game of the Year edition. Regardless of
it
what they
destroys
want.
my soul every time I see it's Killer Instinct Game of the Year edition.
Like, and just you are not the Game of the Year. Get back in your place.
God. Yeah.
That's why that's kind of a good thing, I guess, because there are so many game awards, and I quite like the idea that maybe one of the developers that gets one of the Game of the Year awards from us releases a Game of the Year edition, like some weird anime boob game of the Year edition, because DDNet gave it Game of the Year.
No, it'd be Excel Raiders Exigrand.
Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Game of the Year edition, because DDNet gave it Game of the Year.
Deadly Hotel Stuck in the Nebula. Jack in the Box.
But we are going through our
Stars of the Skies.
we are going through the process of doing the awards for DDNet as well at the moment. We're going.
Can we do a fake award, Matt?
And
can we do a fake award? That's the best not name for a game.
and just looking through, it's actually been a good year for games this year. Like, putting aside the golden joystick and stuff, looking at our own spreadsheet and all the lists that we've created, it's been a really good year for games. And
Kingdom Hearts 3 came out this year, remember?
Oh yeah, it did too, and no one's talking about it.
Yeah, because it was kind of alright.
It actually isn't even on our list for anything. That's how much nobody's talking about it. I think that's the thing. Like, I see a lot of people commenting about how this year has been disappointing for video games or whatever, but I think that it's just people have forgotten a lot of what's actually been released.
This year has been crazy. There has been so much that came out this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Dragon Quest 11. I'm just looking at the Switch one because the Switch has had a particularly good year.
Because it's a new console.
Well, it's not really anymore.
It's like 3 years old now.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
2 years old, I think.
Are you serious?
2.5 years old.
2.5 years old. It's been around a while now. But looking at looking at the Switch, it's like Super Mario Maker 2,
Oh
Link's Awakening, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yes.
Those
Came out
those
like
are just,
yesterday, didn't it?
those are just from those aren't just from Nintendo. But in terms of third-party stuff as well, there's Mary Skelter 2, Caligula Effect Overdose, War Groove, AI Somnium Files, Doraemon Story of Seasons. These are all very good games. Dragon
Gotta
Quest.
let Alan have his moment now.
I'm just going to quickly have a second. I just got an email from Humble Bundle. If you subscribe to their thing for the month, you get Yakuza Kiwami, Soul Calibur 6, and My Time at Porsche. That is exceedingly worth it. Go do that, everyone. Sorry.
No,
Matt,
don't do
back
that.
to you.
Don't support Humble Bundle.
Go but Soul Calibur and Yakuza. If you've not played those games, go get them.
You should, but you should also pay for them.
You should get the one on PS4 that just came out, the collection.
The 3, 4, and 5? Or is it 2, 3, and 4?
To get back onto the actual topic, looking at also, PS4's had a very good year as well. In addition to the Sony stuff, which is obvious, there's been like Judgment was released this year. I think people have already forgotten about.
No one's talking about that.
Dead or Alive 6. I know that's not a big thing for you, Alan, but for fighting game fans, that was a big release.
What do you mean for fighting game fans?
Concrete Genie.
Has Matt Codd been playing it? Because I'm going to guarantee that if he's playing it, it means it's for fighting game.
No, Matt Codd's not a huge fan of Dead or Alive.
Exactly, which means it's not a good fighting game.
RPGs had a really good year because there was like Zenki Zero, Crystar. Actually, I want to say that Spike Chunsoft has had a knockout year this year for that kind of niche Japanese stuff. Because, as I mentioned, AI Somnium Files is probably one of the better visual novels that people haven't probably not played or heard of.
I really want to play that. I really want to play that.
It's really good. It is really good. It's very kind of neo-noir, kind of cyber, kind of punky style.
Oh, hey, Matt, can I do tangent?
It's really good. Just a second. They also...
Shut up, Harvard.
Spectrum also put out Zenki Zero, which is a really great kind of spiritual successor of sorts to Danganronpa and whatever, with dungeon crawling this time around. Crystar's a really good action RPG. So, yeah. Oh, and Conception for people who like roguelikes. So Spike's had a really good year. Oh, and earlier in the year they did Steins Gate, the fully animated Steins Gate visual novel, which was actually really impressive as well. And as well. So yeah, Spike Chunsoft's had a really good year. I'm really impressed with the output. Good on them.
Yeah, they've done a thing. Also, Devolver Digital as well should not be sneezed on because they released Katana Zero this year.
Definitely.
And My Neighbor Pedro.
That's not good.
It is.
It's all right.
It's not as good as Katana.
Devolver Bootleg is going to be the real winner.
Yeah. They deserve more attention, in all honesty, for being insane.
I'm actually trying to think what I've actually played of Devolvers this year, and I can't think of anything.
Is Ape out this year?
Ape out was this year.
I played the 2 Hotline Miami games on Switch. I think that's all I've played of
Not
Devolver
really this year, I think.
It's not really this year. That doesn't count. It's like 2011.
You played Metal Wolf Chaos.
Oh, yes, Metal Wolf Chaos.
Metal Wolf Chaos is the greatest game.
They put that out. That was pretty good game.
Let's party! It was good. What a good game.
We're actually going to have such a hard time for Game Awards this year. There's so much.
Yeah. What were you going to say before Matt was so rude to you?
Oh. Actually, what were we talking about?
That's really good. All right. Well, we're going to move on then. Should we end it there?
Just quickly, I wanted to
also I get to be rude.
Put a quick kind of call out to the Australian and New Zealand industry. They've had a pretty good year as well this year, which is good. Not just Goose Game, though. Of course, Goose Game is the big one,
like worldwide phenomenon.
But there was also Mini Motorways was released this year, and that's by a little New Zealand developer, Dinosaur Polo Club, and it's great. It's amazing. everybody should play Mini Motorways. There was also Table of Tales, which was released this year. That's a VR game by Tin Man Games down in Melbourne, and that's really cool if you're into your whole kind of tabletop RPG style thing. That game really pulled that aesthetic through and did a really good job of kind of that miniatures based tabletop experience on VR, which was amazing. Very big fan of that. And it's not really a new game, but it was released on Switch this year. Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. That was it's a tactics kind of strategy game set in the Battlestar Galactica universe. That was released on Switch, and that's perfect for Switch. So it's been a really good year for the Aussie industry, and good on them. Keep it up, keep working, boys. Even though we lost Hand of Fate developer, that was sad.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note,
we'll get
Diablo
some
4 coming out next year.
we'll get some music from Goose Game.
I can't. We did this before. I can't do it.
It's only one track from Goose Game.
Yeah, but the issue is that because it's like generated on the spot, there's no track that's actually a track from Goose Game.
It's just going to be some music of Alan playing Goose Game.
No, I'm not going to play Goose Game. I haven't bought it yet. I probably should buy it.
Are you like the one human being who hasn't played it yet?
No, because I don't have any space left on my Switch and I've not bought an SD card. So I'm not letting it replace Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is too important, and Smash Bros is too important as well.
That's right.
I hate that game.
We're going to pick music from Caligula Effect. That's what we're going to pick.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a great game. It's a really good RPG with
How
really
many
good
effects
music.
are in your Caligula?
It's great.
How do you not know that, Alan? Matt picks something from that game like once every second week.
Yeah, but I don't pay attention to Matt most of the time.